Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Sammy, aka Laker Boy Ace.
What up, everybody? It's Laker Boy Waldo back at it again, and we back.
And you know what else is back? The NBA.
The NBA.
But the preseason.
Oh, we back. We back. You guys back?
Hey, man, it's exciting, man. With the preseason, it's very important to note you can't take everything too serious. Take it with a grain of salt. For example, we're going to be talking about what the players improved on, but we're not going to be talking about what they didn't improve on.
Right. We could sit here and send you a whole list about things they need to improve on. Yeah. But what me and Sami decided is we'll save our judgment on a video for what they need to improve on until maybe when the season starts, they get their legs in, lineups are set.
More established.
Yeah. So for right now, all we're going to do is just talk about what they have improved on, because that's a little more noticeable.
Exactly, so stay tuned. So the way this video is going to be structured is that we're going to break apart each category of pros into 4 different sections. For example, the first 2 categories are going to be depth and versatility, as well as the emphasis on defense.
Right, and then you're going to have ball movement, and the last thing, team chemistry.
So let's start with the depth. The depth of this team is fantastic. More specifically, Mitch Kupchak is fantastic because a lot of it came through the draft.
Yeah.
Zubac, Larry Nance, and Anthony Brown.
Yeah, basically, honestly, as the Lakers management, they did not waste a single draft pick.
Not at all.
If you look at our draft history in the last 3 years, I don't think a single player has been a bust. I mean, I'm not saying all of them are going to be stars, but hey.
I mean, Ryan Kelly was the last bad batch, man.
Right. So adding on to depth, I feel like a lot of Laker fans right now are looking at our front court and saying, you know what, it's low-key stacked. And it is. It is. There's a lot of players that honestly have made a name for themselves.
And there's competition amongst this front court.
Right.
Is Nance going to start? Is Randall going to start?
Right. And then you have the second string debate. Is it going to be Tariq? Is it going to be Yee? Zubac? We don't even know. We don't know right now.
So, and this is always a good thing. It may seem confusing, but it's always good to have more talent than you need.
Right. Alright, so next we got versatility. This, personally to me, I feel like is one of the greatest improvements for our Lakers squad. We have so many players that can play different roles, different positions, and that's, I think, one of the exciting things about this team. For example, you have players like Deng and Randall who can, you know, start at the 4 or 5, depending on what lineup Luke puts in. And personally to me, that's amazing.
So going off what he said, Deng is incredible because he can guard the 2, the 3, and the 4, and Nance can guard the 3 and the 4 as well. What this means is that if we're versing a team that plays small ball, we're good. We'll be able to match them evenly. It'll be perfect. So emphasis on defense is the next category. Now we're 2 games into the preseason. There's not going to be many stats proving what we're about to say. But based off the eye test, you can definitely tell that this team is not the same team it was last year defensively. Last year we were dead last in the whole NBA. This year, I don't think it's going to be that way. With Luke Walton's new system, it looks like each player is definitely partaking and playing in their role. Everybody's on their guy. And it just looks like they've got that mentality to where they don't want them to score.
Yeah. Luke personally has went out of the way and made it a statement that all we're going to focus on training camp is defense. Like, that's the priority.
You get to day 1 of training camp, you normally want to play because you haven't played in a long time. But I'd say 80% of what we did today was defense, and they were engaged. They were, they were getting better as the day went on, and just a good solid day.
And you could tell, I mean, we're not saying they're lockdown defenders right now, but for example, Clarkson, you could tell he's making a concerted effort to work harder on the defensive end.
And Ingram, he helps with that a lot, just based off how he is, his height, his wingspan. His hands are just going to be in the passing lane. It's going to be amazing.
Right, so having that defensive vibe just kind of expressed around the team is helpful.
And it's funny, man, because I always watch interviews from Luke Walton and the players, and all of them always say emphasis on defense. All we're doing is running defensive plays. That's all.
Defense wins rings.
It does.
If we want to win rings in the near future.
And, you know, I know we're talking a lot about defense, but this is really important to know. Julius Randle was asked, why is it that you guys are focusing so much on defense? It's a pretty obvious question, right? We need to be better defensively. But he said offense comes from defense.
Right.
And it's smart that they're realizing that at this age.
And we've seen a lot of that. I mean, Jay will play a couple highlights while we talk about this.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of plays where Jordan Clarkson, Nance, Randall have leaked out all because of steals and pressure D.
And they're in sync. It's just a matter of time until it becomes really smooth and it starts working towards it.
Right, so that's a very noticeable improvement. All right, so this is one of the things I feel like a lot of Laker fans have expected with Luke Walton being the head coach is ball movement.
Yeah.
a lot of people were excited because they felt he'll bring the Golden State Warriors offense into
Which
it.
is very predicated off ball movement.
Right, and he actually has.
Yeah, for example, compared to last year where we didn't really have many shooters on the squad. This year, basically every player can shoot. You know, even Nance can shoot, a power forward. To a certain extent, Julius Randle can spread the floor from the three-point line. It's incredible. You don't really see that often in the NBA, and the way that the NBA is leaning to become, it's very three-point heavy and perimeter shooting league, and we have young players that can become like those type of expectations.
Right, and if you were a Laker fan last year, you noticed in Byron Scott's offense, the most frustrating thing was that everyone stood in the same exact spot.
Yeah.
No one would move. Half the time it was ISO ball.
A lot of times.
And it was horrible. I mean, no one would move. Honestly, I've noticed a lot. For example, D'Angelo Russell, I'm not sure if you guys saw the last preseason game where he goes under the basket, behind 3 screens, pops up for a wide open 3. I mean, that off the ball movement is amazing. Something I have not seen at all last year. So that's also a massive.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So team chemistry is very important to a team because it helps the players relate with each other and basically become closer.
Yeah,
and it makes for better plays. So for example, with this squad, they're all taking pictures off the court, having a good time. They're always hassling each other on Twitter. And you know, they do cool events. Like Luke Walton had them do some singing karaoke thing with
for the
Ingram.
rookies.
Yeah.
And they also just look very on sync.
Yeah.
I don't know, even Nick Young seems happy there. Russell seems like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
And Sami mentioned earlier, one thing that a lot of these players have been saying in all these interviews and press conferences, they're having fun.
Yeah, it's very
And that's
important.
for a young team, that's super important to have good team chemistry and to have fun.
And I think that's the main reason we brought Walton here, is to remind these players that, you know, basketball is fun. It's supposed to be energetic. It's supposed to make you excited.
Right.
And that's how these players have been playing. They've been playing very exciting basketball.
Right.
It's a brand of basketball that, you know, eventually can turn into wins.
Right, and with Kobe gone and Byron Scott gone, it's kind of a different view in the locker room. You know, there's more of like the light at the end of the tunnel type of thing.
And it's definitely more lighthearted.
Right.
Like, for example, they play music in their practice facilities now.
Right.
Which a lot of teams don't do that. The Warriors did.
Yeah.
And look how that turned out.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that about wraps it up for this video. I know we weren't talking about the cons. I hope you guys realize that it's just the preseason once again.
Right, but expect a new video. We're gonna have more videos coming out soon.
Yeah, the next
Another one
video
very soon.
The next video is pretty important. We're going to be talking about expectations
Right.
of this squad. So stay tuned for that one.
Keep an eye
As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter,
Follow
on
us
Instagram,
Instagram, all of it.
You know the drill.
Yep.
It's been real. It's your boy Sammy, aka Laker Boy Ace, signing out.
Laker Boy Waldo, out.